Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind Heaven and Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And I want to do a little quick video, because I know I do this through a lot of my videos, but I just want to make a video anchoring on this. How to move in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. You know what I'm saying? How to move in the esoteric realm. Yeah, now you need to know any form of 3D, any form of 1, 2, and 3rd dimension is because you're within something. You're within a box. You're within a bubble. So that's the only time it becomes 3rd dimensional. Now, anytime you take yourself to the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm, you're taking yourself to a more expanded version of that. You know what I'm saying? So you're more outer than within. Then once you take yourself to the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension, then you're totally trying to make yourself totally without. You know what I'm saying? AKA without. There's a war going on outside. No one is safe. No one, nobody. You know what I'm saying? AKA no shape and form can actually go into the realm of reality that perceive past the 9th dimension. So you know the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension are the shapes and forms in the lightest spectrum in order for you to expand up out of that as a spirit to be able to create a whole new space. And once you create a whole new space, you become God of that realm of reality because you was the first spirit in there. So any other spirit that's want to create a chakra after you, aka to sustain that astral travel, actually have to look at you as a form of example or God or ramification. They will do nothing but live through you in some way, shape, or form as you imagine and create that realm of reality. But that's another video. So for the most part, this video right here is about how to move in the esoteric realm. So just wait the same way in the 3rd dimension, right? How y'all look forward, y'all look back, y'all look left, y'all look right, y'all look up, y'all look down. These actual directions are actually derived from actual vibrations, actual frequency vibrations. So for you to call it a direction and give it a letter or to give it a word or a term or a meaning or a reasoning, you're just actually bringing it down as a sigil to understand what's actually going on universally. So you're trying to understand what's going on universally based upon your spectrum, based upon your dimension, where you're located at, and the best way and the elements that you can partake in to make the shape and form or the sigil to make it understood the way it could be understood based upon this location where we at that y'all want to call this star, this body of water. But for the most part, it is just universal access and energy. You see what I'm saying? That's why I be telling y'all for a lot of times, don't get too lost into universal laws. That is just the law in this space, and whoever rule this space as spirits and bodies, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, this is the access that they're correlating, which is far as Galactic Federation of Light and things of that nature, right? Now, but when we talk about esoterically, right, this is how to move in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. So this is how you actually move your spaceship. This is how you actually move your chakras. This is how you actually control your moods, how you control your vibrations in order for you to even look forward, to look backwards, to look up and down, and to speak these things into existence, so these things can actually have an actual existence in the 3rd dimensional realm. Here's where these things is derived from. It's actually derived from your ability to be aware of yourself, aka create a chakra or create something within your space. Now your spirit is no thing, no shape and form, so it's just your space. And based upon your state of being, you gravitate and manifest things in your space. And based upon the shapes and forms and the light spectrums, aka the bodies of water that you have in your space, that can play out as an external representation on what kind of being you are, what kind of state of being you is, what kind of person you are, what kind of persons, what kind of things you are accumulating. And this type of body that you have created as a spirit, you go into this shit to be aware of yourself and for others to be aware of you. So whatever you created, whether the body, the family that you into, the body, the location that you're in, the body, physical body that you're in, the concept and the things that you're manifesting as far as material or experiences in your life, shows as physical representations on what you're manifesting in your life as far, or what you're creating in your life as far as a creator, as your spirit. So your spirit is just like a frequency, and your spirit creates vibrations, and the more it vibrate, it could become an energy. So what do I mean by that? Your spirit is no thing, no shape and form. So once your spirit have an imagination, aka an appearance, a rising, something that can rise up. This is a Lucifer or a Lilith, aka a masculine or a feminine shape and form, to be aware of itself as a spirit. Boom, whatever side of the spectrum is correlating to as far as universally, boom, it creates that, right? So it jumps into that. Now, for the most part, when we're talking about moving in the esoteric realm, once it jumps into that, that becomes your vibe. That becomes how you see yourself, and that becomes how other people see you, who have done the same thing that you have did. AKA, now we all got spaceships. Now we all can be relatable. Now we all can move our current events, our conscious flows, the way we're supposed to move it. So as a spirit, you're nothing more, nothing less but a frequency. You know what I'm saying? It's basic, and I don't even necessarily want to say an idea, because people get lost into that. You created the idea. The idea is the creation. You know what I'm saying? Not the creator. So a lot of times you get overthrown by ideas that have been created before you, aka a spirit that's in a body that have done something before you. So a lot of times they idea hits you and you get overwhelmed by it because you think you're learning something new, but a lot of times you're just getting hit with some old shit and you're trying to bounce back off of it with your own little idea, your own little chakra system, and therefore you develop your own idea about what you just caught that necessarily wasn't your idea to begin with. So you need to know that you're just adding on to someone else's philosophical point of view. And that's what philosophy is, the ability to imagine. Period. So when you got a person clinging on to someone else's philosophical points of views, you could just X out philosophy and say you're just clinging on to someone else's imagination. And someone's other people's imaginations might be higher than other people's imaginations based upon their spiritual vibrational nature. But you know, as far as spirits, right, we are the frequency, so we create the idea. We create the idea of ourselves, so that becomes an image. Then once that image, right, we want to see how that image appear to be, so we jump into that and then we can move in it, so it becomes a stream, a shooting star. So now it becomes water. That fire becomes water, and now that water streams, you could move it into a direction, aka have a current, a chakra. You want to maintain a one position and location and just be a Lucifer or a Lilith there, or you want to keep traveling and be spiritually free and don't care about transforming, aka creating new ideas and imaginations to keep going into without being stuck into one, till you be lost into one light, one position in one location, then you get lost there. But that's a whole nother video before we get there. I'm on fire today, motherfucker. But for the most part, when we're talking about you jumping in that vibration, now you start to experience. Now you have your time in that body. You have your time in that imagination. So once you created that frequency and it start to vibrate, you as a spirit, you jump into it, so it start to vibrate, you start to experience. Now it has time to expire. You know what I'm saying? But once you keep adding to it, it becomes a force. It becomes a conscious. It becomes a yang. It becomes, like I said, a conscious wave, a conscious stream, a thought and imagination that could be physical, from non-physical to physical. All that is the solid realm. So I don't want y'all to get confused about the energy. You see what I'm saying? That's what energy is. Your spirit is not that. See, when I just broke down frequency, vibration, that created the energy. So frequency, vibration, energy. Same way you got gas, and then once you get in the look, it's frequency, vibration, energy. Then you got everything that's an offspring under energy, and everything under energy is this mimicking what frequency, vibration is doing, and it may do it in a masculine way or it may do it in a feminine way. So look, you got frequency, so you a spirit, no thing, no shape and form, zero, just your space, your state of being. Boom, you create the one, right? The neo, the Zion, out of the nine. So boom, you create an image, a frequency, right? Then boom, that you could be aware of yourself and create an external appearance. So boom, you go into that. Now it vibes. Now you got your feminine. Now it can relate through the external realm now. So that's your duality. So that's your vibration. Now you able to move through that as an experience, and it has possibilities to expire, aka your ability to keep transforming, keep creating new shapes and forms. Every time you move, you die and give life to something else. Every time. Just move. You know what I'm saying? Now, the more you keep doing that, the more you create a realm of reality, especially if you're doing that into one space and location with your snake-like spirit, right? You create a realm of reality. Now that realm of reality, the more you paying attention to it, aka the more you keep doing that frequency, vibration, energy as a spirit, that realm of reality can appear to be solid. It can appear to be real. A real realm of reality. It can appear to be realistic, which y'all think is real. So all the elements that you have created, aka the things that have mattered to you spiritually, aka now it became matter. It became energy. So for the most part, that's what energy is. Energy is what you just created. Y'all see how I just broke that down? So I don't need to be hearing no conscious community motherfucker saying that the spirit is energy, or the spirit is light, or the spirit is light trapped in the darkness. No, this is the light body. If anything, your spirit is the darkness trapped in the light, aka lost in the light, and it got so blind, aka what light is information, consciousness, being consciously aware of shit, being lost in the water. So when you seeing is nothing more, nothing less but taking your spirit out of your body and taking it into somebody else's body of water, right? So you're skiing, you're seeing, you're in someone else's realm of reality. So when you're trying to see something, realize something, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to take your spirit and understand someone else's current flows, someone else's influence, someone else's current event, whether it's a concept, idea, imagination. It wasn't yours, you're just trying to understand it or overstand it. So you took your spirit and start swimming in someone else's body of water. So y'all call it seeing. So when y'all look at the great sea, sea. Y'all go outside and look at the sun, but it's just the great sea, the great body of water. You know what I'm saying? That's a big world ocean somewhere else, but it's so far away, you know what I'm saying? But it's so big, that's just how it looked to y'all. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, that's another video. Now, when we talking about spiritual natures and things of that nature, this is what you're going to be accumulating. So you're going to be, so now you got a force, now you got an aura, now you got a force field. You know what I'm saying? Now you got magnetism. So for the most part, look, when we say spirit, right, you created a frequency, which is an image. Now it becomes a pick. Then you jump into that, and now you made it move. It becomes a vibration. It has time. It has experience. It's a shape and form that keeps dying and being born the more different spaces it's traveling through. So it's emitting and creating each space, aka it's creating the world. Now you got a force, you got a realm of reality. So now this is what other people who are doing the same thing you're doing can see from you. Now they can see your force, they can see your light, they can see your energy. So now you got frequency, vibration, boom. Energy is the body. See what I'm saying? So it's like spirit, soul, body. So your soul is nothing more, nothing less but an individual spirit. You know what I'm saying? So when you in the overall parameter, the overall space, you have your own space, your own parameter within that. So that's your soul, your ability to. So when you say going into the spirit, right? You're going into the spirit, the overall concept or idea of something, or the overall space, and then you're playing it out with your own spirit, your own individual spirit, aka your soul, your ability to vibrate that information out. So then in order for that to be seen externally from people, from spirits that's doing the same thing as you have to create a force, an energy, a yang. You see what I'm saying? AKA a solar system, a system for your soul to go into to operate. So you create a solar system, a force, an energy. Now your soul could go into that. Now you got a solar system, a system for your soul to be aware of itself and to go through this astral travel for other people to be aware of it. AKA other people can see your body of water, your influences, right? So now this is your vibe. This becomes your vibe. This becomes your influence. This becomes your current. This becomes your ability of belief and your ability to create current events. So now with this, you can either create your day or you can create a nightmare. Now creating a nightmare is forgetting that you are a spirit in the light. So you get so blinded, it just perceived that's all darkness, and your manifestations become chaotic because you don't have control over it. That becomes a nightmare, right? Then you have good dreams, beautiful dreams. This is a person who have pure conviction in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, and they're not easily persuaded. They're not naive, and they created their own map. Therefore, no one can change with their imagination, what they're creating. AKA, no one can redirect their direction of what they want their current flow to go into in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Right? So now when we start to talk about how to actually move, now that we know that it's dealing with your vibration, and we know your vibration is creating energies, and your energy is what create force, is solid. So when we say frequency, vibration, energy, now energy is already masculine, already external, so everything that come up under that, right, will be gas, liquid, solid. See what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. And then unconscious, subconscious, conscious. See what I'm saying? Nothingness, yin, yang. Yin comes before yang. See what I'm saying? So you need to know the third thing I'm adding is always the density, always the lowest vibration. So anytime you hear energy, light, force, you know what I'm saying, you need to know that that's last, after the fact. That don't have anything to do with your spirit. You see what I'm saying? And when you get too lost into that, you're always going to find some form of information that make you start thinking something different. And this is what my channel is about. As Archangel Uriel, this is the subconscious community. So, for the most part, right now, this is how you actually move. It's all dealing with the vibrations, right? So, say you want to actually move forward. Now, y'all did attach right or wrong to things in the third dimension. So, y'all think certain vibrations that y'all have be wrong, and then y'all think certain ones that y'all have be right. And the most powerful one down here is like happiness, and happiness is backed and supported by exaltation, which is going up. So a lot of times when you go to up, the higher you go, the longer the fall. And you need to know in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, there's no such thing as up, down, left, right. So when you do create that concept, you need to be aware that you're always going to create the opposing direction. So if you want to always be super happy, you're going to always in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise spiritually go up. And the higher you go up, you ain't going to do nothing but manifest manifest the opposite direction also. So you're going to experience that. You're going to experience a super low. The higher you go up, you're going to experience a super low. And the lower you go down, you're going to experience a super high. So people who experience like real catastrophic turbulent moments in their lives, they always experience extreme blissful moments way more than your mundane life. If you've been living on a balance, even spectrum of the scale. That's another video though, because y'all be attaching right or wrong to shit that don't have necessarily anything to do with right or wrong, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise. Same reason why y'all say y'all supposed to love down here in the third dimension all the times. That's actually breaking the law in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, to love everything. You know what I'm saying? Without loving yourself, without having some form of concealment. Loving too much can make you passive in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. And in the third dimension, all you would do is manifest a lot of situations that will harden you and make you hate love in some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. This is why you have people with those kind of success stories. And I won't even call those success stories, but people who are lost in those kind of ramifications. Right? Now, but for the most part, you need to know every direction has to be used at particular times. So for the most part, when y'all say always be in depression in the third dimension is a negative thing, it can play out as negative, but it's because a lot of times y'all utilize those energies at times that it's not supposed to be utilized. And then a lot of times y'all let other people put y'all in depressing states. So y'all let external references put y'all in that. So y'all already get washed away in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wave by someone else's influence, someone else's current events, someone else's chakras. Now, this is what you need to understand, right? Or overstand. When we talk about vibrations, right? Every direction is needed. The time is needed. There's a time to be angry. There's a time to be depressed. Now these are just words that's backed and supported by moving in a direction in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. How to move in a room full of vultures. Vultures fly and they're dark birds. So let's talk about fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional shit. So look, check this out, right? Now, when you want to move forward in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, you have to feel like you are the words that y'all use down here that's attached to it. You have to feel like you're overcoming something, accomplishing something. So y'all created sports around this. What's those those sports that y'all be running and y'all be jumping over hurdles and shit like that? You know, those Olympic sports and shit like that. Y'all got that from that energy signature. Y'all always going to get something from alignments, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise first before it gets manifested in the third dimension, so y'all can experience it for long periods of times before expiration dates in the third dimension. So keep that in mind. Now, for the most part, to move forward in the third dimensional words, the only way that energy is backed and supported by that the lost words that y'all use is accomplishing something, overcoming something, moving forward, technically, aka getting away from a circumstance and situation that you was once in that was holding you back. So in order for you to move forward, you have to detach from what was holding you back. So all those things, all those words that y'all use and the situations that y'all in to make y'all use those words, sit back and meditate on the energy signature behind it. And that's how you move in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension forward spiritually. So you can start manifesting, moving forward in your life there first, so you don't have to experience turbulence and stumbling and falling down here that you don't necessarily have to. Keep that in mind. Now, sometimes you have to move backwards because you may have left something behind in the spirit realm that you may need to go back into your waters or your past so you can gain some type of information to move forward effectively. So don't get too lost in the fire going forward also. Check this out. Now, when we talk about moving backwards in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise realm, the words that y'all always use down here that's back to supported by the energy signature that's behind it will be regret, slightly passive, feeling like you left something behind, you know what I'm saying, and having a feeling of responsibility, concern, caring, and even love. All those are backed and supported by, in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional realm, just energy signatures of going backwards. So a lot of times, to move right, sometimes you have to go backwards. So in the third dimensional realm, sometimes you have to utilize these energies as far as love or regret or going back or something like that in order to move through the next astral travel effectively, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise. See, y'all might get lost into that. So a lot of times you might for an example, in the third dimension, a certain responsibility may save your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, you might be like a young girl or something like that, 15 or 16 years old, whatever like that, and your ass having kids too goddamn young, right? But you got a group of friends that you be around that's always going out. Now, since your ass then manifested a responsibility, all your friends went out. Now, if you ain't had that child, you would have went out with them. But goddamn it, you couldn't go out because you ain't had no babysitter. But now you turned on the news channel later on and seen that the goddamn house that they had a party at got shot up and burnt down. Everybody then goddamn got killed. So you see how your responsibility saved your ass? So for the most part, you need to understand that sometimes in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension realm, moving backwards is actually necessary to move. You need to learn how to move in a room full of vultures so you can move effectively through the next astral realm. So don't be getting lost in the 3rd dimension on what people make you think your life is. You need to understand what you're spiritually creating is for a reason, and you need to know where that's coming from so you can know how to stop certain events and how to let certain events happen. Now, say you want to move left. If you want to move left, you have to do something in the 3rd dimension that y'all give it words as opposing, or being unique and original, or being competitive, or just being opposing in some way, shape, or form. Not being super agreeable. The words that y'all use down here when people want to say something is agreeable or something like that will be y'all utilize something like, oh, that's right, or that's right, or something like that. But when you think somebody's not right, you play an opposing energy. So you're coming at them left field. So for the most part, that is not negative, even though that plays out as Lucifer, and y'all attach a lot of language and laws and love to that in the 3rd dimension. 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional rise, that is essential to your spirit. Sometimes you have to move to the left because you might just run into an asteroid, or you might just flow right off the cliff or something like that as far as the rainbow waters up there. So sometimes you have to move left. Sometimes you have to be opposing. You can't be too agreeable all the time. Sometimes you have to be like, hold on. I don't represent that. That ain't where I'm trying to go. That ain't where I'm directed. AKA you moved left in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Your ass just might have dodged a goddamn bullet. In the 3rd dimensional wise, your ass might have just dodged a relationship that your ass would have regretted. See what I'm saying? Now, say your ass want to move down. Move down. The words that y'all will use down here is like, goddamn it, being depressed, or being downing, or being too emotional, aka adding too much water to the physical shape and form that you are in, the bucket that you are in. So now you're running around heavy. Now, sometimes this is necessarily needed in the 3rd dimension. I mean, the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Even when y'all go to sleep, say you wanted to do something in the 3rd dimension, but it represented the realm of reality of your tethering cord so much, aka this realm, that as soon as you tried to do it, you woke up, aka you added too much water, too much conscious from this conscious there. So it emitted a light that woke you up back here because it represented here too much. So you need to keep that in mind. This is how you even move in your dreams. That's why if you see money in your dreams, or if you want to have sex in your dreams, or if you want to do something that you really want to do in your dreams, shit start getting real slow. Like you can't do it. Like you're gonna get real sluggish, and because it represents this realm too much. You added too much water. So sometimes, like if you in a dream that you're flying, the only way that you could keep flying without falling, sometimes you have to think down, think depressed, and then go back up, just like the Mario. Like it's deep science behind this shit. But for the most part, you need to know that everything is essential. So for the most part, it can save your fucking life. You might be in a circumstance in the 3rd dimension where you always manifesting other people who are in emotional distress. So you always manifesting these situations in your life because they think you can handle it, and you're a person who's so dry, or who's so emotional stable that it only wear and tear on you like once out of the month and shit like that, right? But here's what you need to understand. And sometimes you may need to act just like the people you manifesting, because they may back off a little bit. They might be like, man, this person, this is depresses me right now. Let me not call them and wash all my problems down on them right now because they going through a problem. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you might just have to act moody a little bit, even if you're not truly that way, just for the sake of the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm, making these motherfuckers back the fuck off you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you went down, you know what I'm saying? You ducked a bullet, you know what I'm saying? You ducked something that went over your head real quick, and you needed that to go over your head, because every consciousness ain't need to be attached to. See what I'm saying? Even when we get to wanting to move up, like I said, this is dealing with the words that y'all would use as happiness, or the words that would use or optimism, being optimistic and things of that nature. But really, it's a vibration that you just can tap into regardless. You don't need no external representations to make you tap into these energy signatures. You need to learn how to move in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm first, so those energies could get manifested in the 3rd dimension. And anytime you get met with opposition in the 3rd dimension, then learn how to move in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, so the situation in the 3rd dimension don't manifest chaotically or out of hand. See, we go through a lot of circumstances, even to the highest elites down here, to the point that this is why they go to war. This is something getting chaotic out of hand that it didn't have to, because everybody is spiritually lost. See what I'm saying? So this is how you actually move in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. So and to learn how to move in that realm, you actually can learn how to create your own map. And everybody has to learn their own map to get to that true space. And that true space, that true parameter, that's what y'all actually be trying to call God. But a lot of y'all just be lost by what y'all be calling the Most Highs, aka bodies of water, or this bubbles, aka spirits and bodies that have done something before you. But always remember, they did it after the overall parameter. Always remember that. What's first shall be last, what's last shall be first. So what you calling most high is the is motherfucking just the most high in the physical shape and form of something. That ain't got nothing to do with the most expanded and the most contracted. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with the parameter. That's someone who took their parameter and want to be perceived as the overall parameter. Keep that in mind. This is deep shit. When y'all say most high, what about the most whole? What? I said the most holes, aka the most portals all the way down to the most low. What about the most low that most high created? Because for that to be the most high, it came from a most low, and for something to be the most low, is going to get to that level of most high. So y'all gonna have to deal with those ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and those spiritual roller coasters that y'all be dealing with based upon y'all motherfucking lostness. Because y'all keep following lost stars, lost bubbles, lost body of waters that y'all ain't in. Y'all in this one. See what I'm saying? So keep that in motherfucking mind. And that's how to move through the motherfucking astral realm. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. Don't get lost.